Hello everyone, I'm Athype from Zen Dynasty, and I am going to show you how to use and effectively execute the PeWi Hillman strategy for Town Hall 13. This strategy was developed by one of our clan leaders, Winburn, as a stepping stone between Town Hall 13 and Town Hall 14, because this utilizes similar mechanics that the Town Hall 14 Super Archer Blimp Electro Titan attack strategies use, mainly the blimp and also guiding the troops around the base in a sort of ring. The main advantage of this attack is the blimping experience that the player gains from it, and by the time you are going to transition to Town Hall 14, you're going to have a really comfortable time doing blimps, and that will also translate to when you need to use a blimp on a lower Town Hall than Town Hall 13 or 14. Let's go over the troops that we are going to be using for this attack. As the name suggests, we are going to use P.E.K.K.A.s and healers as our main troops. We will also be using witches, as the name suggests as well, as a supporting unit, along with an apprentice warden to buff our troops further, and loons for the initial blimp hit. We are using our super barbarians for cleanup and to direct our troops to where they need to go. Headhunters are for hero support, and then a wizard for cleanup. Now let's go over the spells. We are bringing one clone spell, one raid spell, 5 invisibility spells, and a freeze. And in our clan castle, we are going to use what's called a 2/2, which is 2 super wizard and 2 super archers, along with bringing 2 additional freezes as utility. We are going to use the majority of our spells on our blimp, as that is a very crucial make or break part of the attack. So we are using pretty much all our spells on that except the freezes, potentially using 1 freeze as well. So let's now jump into an attack. First off, we are going to identify how we want to blimp. For that, we need to take into account where the sweepers are and what direction they face. So we see that the sweeper covered this area, and now we have to identify a nice big core, like a big clump of defenses that poses as good blimp value. So they've taken a look at the Inferno Towers, the Eagle, the Town Hall. So the main point is to take out the Town Hall and other big core defenses, or at least big core defenses. So we are going to be bumping from down from around the 5 o'clock position. And first, we are going to deploy the Warden and then some balloons, making sure to leave 1 balloon left. And then we are going to deploy the blimp, and then right as the blimp reaches the end, we are going to deploy our Warden ability, and for our ability, we brought a Tome of Invulnerability and a Fireball. The Fireball is not necessary, but it makes is just free value for the attack. So let's continue. We are taking the blimp right up to the core, and then we are dropping an invis, and then popping the blimp manually, then dropping the clone and the rage, and then continuously dropping 4 invisibility spells every 4 seconds to keep our troops safe while they take out the defenses. And when the blimp is done, we are going to deploy the rest of our troops. So firstly, P.E.K.K.A.s and our heroes, our apprentice warden, the witches, RC, and the healers. Now, this version of the attack uses a healer puppet, which makes it easier since that produces us 3 free healers. But we will later go over a version that doesn't use a healer puppet since not everyone has that leveled up. So we are going to start guiding them and opening up a path inside the base, because we want our big clump of units to go in a ring inside the base, in like this outer part of it. So we are going to use our super wall breakers to blow holes in the base and guide them, and then take care of the outside buildings with super barbarians so that those don't withdraw our troops' attentions. And at this point, what you mostly have to pay attention to is how the troops are being guided, and for major defenses that still remain. For example, Inferno Towers. Because single Infernos can have a pretty detrimental effect on our comp, because we use few and pretty hefty units. So it's best to keep our hands on our freezes. And also, we either use our leftover balloon as a supporting unit, or right before dropping our healers, we will drop that balloon so that it catches any seeking air mines that may kill our healers. And as demonstrated by the end, we had all our freezes left, and then we can just throw them. Now, let's go over another type of base. This is a trickier one, since it is a very asymmetrical war base, with some pretty aggressive sweepers as well. Now, we can identify that we want to target our town hall, and there are a couple other major defenses around it as well, but we have to be careful of the empty spaces, because there could be double bombs there. Now, why aren't we targeting the eagle or the scatters? We don't target the eagle because we start our P.E.K.K.A. walk right from where the warden was deployed, and then we are going to have them walk around clockwise towards the eagle, so we are going to be taking it out really early in the attack. So, let's start. Warden down, deploy the all balloons at one, and then blimp. And now pop the ability. Fireball clears a good chunk, and then the balloons go on their way to clear some other stuff. Now we keep a close attention to our blimp and then pop it. It seems fit. Preferably not over any empty spaces, because there could be bombs there. Keep throwing invis on our troops every 4 seconds. You can time it on your hands like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then done. So now we are deploying our walk, popping everything, all our healers, RC, everything, and then clearing out trash buildings so that the P.E.K.K.As eventually go through the corner into that main Eagle artillery compartment. And then further cleaning up some more trash buildings so that they don't target those, and instead steer closer to the compartment with the scatter. And then we'll let the RC do what it wants to do and take out that multi. Now we are going to pop the King ability, because the King ability can be used either at the end or in a major compartment to clear it out really quickly and then progress to the next part of the base. Because if not managed well, this attack can result in a time fail. So we need to be mindful of that. Now we are at the last segments of the base. We didn't really end up having to use any of our super wall breakers, because this base style has open corners to interrupt and bother the pathing of our units, but this type of attack can take advantage of those things. Now, another really good thing about this attack is that it's really strong, and it can stand its way against Town Hall 14s as well. So, let's go over an attack against a Town Hall 14 war base. Right from the get-go, we will identify our blimp targets, which is the Town Hall. But we see that from both sides that are advantageous, sweepers are covering them. So when our blimp reaches around that range, we will try to freeze the sweeper. So let's get to it. Dropping the warden, then the loons, and then the blimp. Now, I mistimed my sweeper freeze a little bit, but in the end, luckily it didn't influence the outcome of the attack. Now, the blimp really needs to be like pinpoint it when we drop it, because one scatter shot can ruin everything. So, keep dropping everything every 4 seconds, and let's clear out the rest of that center. Now with the center cleared up, we can drop our P.E.K.K.A.s, our heroes, healers, and etc. Now, since there is no direct path to the eagle, we are going to try to direct our royal champion to take it out, while opening up way for the P.E.K.K.A.s and the barbarian king to go into the next compartment with the scatter shot. Unfortunately, the RC had to use its ability, but it worked out well because it took out Tesla's the Eagle and also an Inferno Tower. Now, we will continue clearing up the path with the Super Barbarians and open up a hole in the walls so that our army comp can go to the next one. Opening up another set of walls as well so that everything has a clear path. Now we are going to use a freeze on the Inferno Tower so that it doesn't kill one of our P.E.K.K.A.s. And then clear out the backside with a Wizard and a Super Barbarian. Now we mostly just wait for everything to walk around to the last compartment. This is when things can get a little tight with the time, but if we had enough cleanup troops left and had most of our main comp stay alive, we shouldn't have any problems. Now we are going to use a wall breaker so that our archer queen and the rest of the comp can get into that spot and take out the scatter shot. Now we are going to take a look at a Town Hall 14 that had a pretty unfortunate base. This attack strategy can really exploit badly designed compacted close spaces, as you can see with this one. So we'll identify our blimp targets, which is the center and everything with the eagle scatters. And now we'll start our attack from top right. First, dropping our warden, and then the balloons, and the blimp at the end. And cutting it real close to the edge of the warden field. Now we are going to drop an invis, and then the rest of our spells to keep everything safe. We did take a shot from the sweeper, but I didn't then freeze it because I calculated it that it will make it close enough to the town hall, as it should. Now, we can start dropping our P.E.K.K.A.s and everything, even when the rest of the blimp is still going on for a bit, but what the most important is that we pay attention to our blimp till we run out of English spells. After that we can start focusing on the main comp. So, after dropping everything, we start continuing onto the side of the base, and then we are going to clear out some trash buildings and open up a wall so that everything can funnel inside. We are dropping in headhunters as we see enemy heroes trying to take out our troops, and freezing the Inferno Tower in the center so that it doesn't take out our big units, and continuing to clear out the outside. And As visible from the comp below that I'm using, this is a side variant with just regular wall breakers. It's not recommended to use this, but in certain situations it is possible. Now let's jump into a live attack against the Town Hall 14 war base. So let's identify the blimp targets first, which will be the Town Hall and then an Inferno Tower, hopefully the Exvo and maybe even the top scatter. So we are going to start our warden from here, close to the cannon, drop our blimps, drop the blimp, and freeze the sweeper so that it doesn't interrupt our blimp approach. Now paying close attention to the blimp, let's drop it and invis everything, drop another invis, and then we caught one of the double bombs. So we want to avoid those as much as we can and keep invising, being very careful so that scatter shot doesn't hit us and take out all the units within our blimp. So now, with the blimp finishing, we can drop our P.E.K.K.A.s, which is Healer, Apprentice Warden, and Heroes. And we will direct the Royal Champion and some other of our stuff into the Eagle compartment, so we can take those out and take a couple trash buildings out on the other side of the base. Now we are not dropping a Headhunter onto the King because it's already very low. We'll just guide our army composition into this big open compartment. Now with our RC being targeted by the X-Bow, I'll drop a freeze so that the scatter will target the big troops instead of the other squishies, and take out some more trash buildings and to control our composition better. Now, I tried to wall break the wall that the RC was at earlier, but I couldn't because of the pathing, but it's okay because we'll continue from going around. We'll drop our balloon as support, and we'll drop a Headhunter because we are approaching the enemy Archer Queen. Now we'll drop Super Wall Breaker to try to get the area more opened up. There we go. Drop a Cleaning Barb up there, and then we can trigger our Barbarian King ability to clear out the rest. Now we should get that remaining scatter out of the way, and then we'll claim victory over this Town Hall 14 war base. Now let's jump into a live attack against a Town Hall 13 base. This is a box style base, so they are going to try and come in from the side with all the collectors and then freeze the sweeper facing to the left on our approach so that we land kinda near that spot between the clan castle and the expo. So first Warden, then the balloons, blimp, pop the tome, freeze the sweeper, pay close attention with our invis, and then drop and drop, spells and everything, another invis, and then let's see, taking out the core. Continue to invis everything as seems fit, every 4 seconds. So now with the core of the base taken out, we can drop our big units, and then start the walk around the base. Let's clear some trash buildings to help our main comp progress a bit faster. And when we get around to the double X bows, I'll try to open up the wall with a super wall breaker so that we can get some of our troops inside there, and then continue towards the multi-infernos. We'll drop our RC from the side this time to help clean things up, and drop the wall breaker. Now I should have cleared that barracks a little bit earlier so that the P.E.K.K.A.s gravitate towards the X-bows, but alas, it's still fine. Now let's drop a headhunter on the royal champion. And with that taken care of, we can progress further into that last big chunk of the base. We'll open some walls so that everything can get close, and drop a couple super barbarians for cleanup, and so that they tank for our super wall breaker. Now, as the king approaches, we can trigger its ability to wipe out the rest of that compartment. And as you can see, the base got taken care of, and I forgot to trigger my queen ability, so we only went through this attack with 2 healers and still managed to pull off 3-star. So, this is it. Thank you everyone. This is Athype with the PeWi Hillman guide, and see you next time with another guide from Zen Dynasty.